Yeah. Would you believe me if I told you I just had to rebook my travel leaving this leg of my trip? That means that I, the professional traveler, messed up both legs of this journey. So first, I tried to take the wrong airline's flight to Fairbanks and missed mine and had to book an emergency last minute ticket to get here. And then the homeowner and I had a crossed wire and we both miscommunicated slightly, and I thought that they were coming back tonight, but no, they're coming back tomorrow. So I had to change everything that I had booked so that I could leave a day later. Luckily, I'm living in this practically planned space where I just iron out what I really need to and leave myself lots of space for adventure and for things to change. So I had the space to move things around in that 10, now 9-day gap in between my house sits. And I figured it out. It was a really stressful afternoon because as I am reading this text from the homeowner, horrified and embarrassed that I have somehow messed up both journeys on this trip, I'm on hold with Alaska Railroad trying to change my train ticket to the next day and go to the car to get my computer so that I can finish moving everything else. And this sweet, amazing, fabulous dog that I have had the best time watching bolted out the door and took off. And it's Alaska, it's wilderness, and it's not fenced in this house. This yard is huge. I don't know if you can tell, but I am not a runner. So chasing after this dog through all of these trees where there's moose and bears and no, I was barefoot. It was bad, but I got Oso back, I got everything back on track, and now I'm here to film my recap video for this leg of Alaska, and I just don't know how to put into words what has been happening here so far. I was nervous when I went to book this house sit, but I've been nervous about all of this. Nothing that I'm doing is normal. It's not practical. It's not in my wheelhouse. It's not what I expect for myself, but it's a challenge, and I'm trying to push myself to learn and grow and try new skills and be better and different, think differently, and I guess it's working because this defies description. I, a year ago, was getting laid off for, the second time due to the pandemic. And then 8 months ago, I was trying to figure out whether or not I wanted to move to New York or LA and applying for lots of film and TV jobs in both places. And I decided it was going to be the same as what I was doing before, where I just worked all the time and didn't have the quality of life or freedom to travel that I really, really wanted. And when I sat down and figured out what was possible, I figured out I really could travel full time and make it work, at least for a while, and at least until I figured out what I really wanted. And 6 months ago, I was packing up my house and getting started on this journey. Now I am finishing my 5th house sit, and I'm amazed. This doesn't feel temporary. This feels like what I want to be doing. I'm a collector. I have collected junk, weird things, thrifted things, beautiful things my whole life. But now I love to collect stories and photos and adventures and incredible experiences to share with the people that I care about, because that brings me the most joy. When I sit down and think about what would not feel like work, it's this. I work to live, and I am living to the fullest. I am exploring and experiencing things that are far outside of my comfort zone, and also things that are old favorites, and it feels great. I had started to lose faith in humanity while I was stuck in the house dealing with everything that everybody else was dealing with, the election and COVID, and just watching how we treat each other. And through trusted house sitters, I have gotten to experience the complete opposite of that, and that I volunteer to come help you and look after your house and your dog, and you volunteer to help me on this journey, and everybody has gone above and beyond to help me get where I want to go. Every single homeowner has felt like family. I don't get nearly as emotional thinking about leaving the life that I built for 18 years as I do thinking about these perfect strangers who have done everything they can to help support me in this journey. And I knew that I had a fantastic village of people in my corner that were cheering me on and wanted to help me get where I wanted to go, but I I get choked up and my eyes well up when I think about these perfect strangers and everything that they do to help get me there. I was supposed to work my way down the coast of California when this house sit in Alaska popped up in my feed, and something about it just felt right. I was like, okay, I'm very COVID responsible. I will take my mask off for a photo, but I'm pretty much always wearing one when I'm out in public because I travel full time and I don't need to bring anyone COVID as a souvenir when I show up, and it's not for me, it's for them. And I was really nervous to come to Alaska, especially as an Asian female solo traveler who is now outdoorsy at all. There's no rental cars, there aren't any tours really running, there's no bus tours, the train tours aren't multiple days, there weren't any cruises that I could hop on. It was really logistically challenging to get this figured out, and I am going way, way, way outside my comfort zone by renting an 18-foot van and sleeping in it in the wilderness. But it seemed like a challenge. It seemed fun. It seemed like a good story. It seemed like an awesome way to try new things and take beautiful pictures and really learn and grow. And I'm really excited about it. So while I'm not leaving tomorrow, like I thought, I'm leaving the next day. But I'm thrilled to be here, and I couldn't have asked for better hosts. They have changed my life in so many ways, but today they helped me cross something off my bucket list. They set me up on a float plane tour with their neighbor as a surprise. She just dropped me a pin and told me where I needed to be, wearing a coat and rain boots, and away we went. And sweet Drew took me up in the air and showed me, this plane felt like it was a Lego plane. I mean, it was so small and rickety and crazy. And we went up there and he dropped me into this pond so that I could see all of these beautiful birds that were just hanging out in the water. And then we went to take off and he was like, oh look, there's a mom and baby moose right over there. So we just sat in the water and watched the moose play in the water. And then we went to leave and we flew over all of these bald eagles, and it was perfect. Just like the rest of this adventure, there are bumps and things are crazy, but it's perfect. It's exactly what I want and exactly what I need. And instead of, just trying to plan everything completely and avoiding any and all possible changes, I am super open to them, and the changes have all brought incredible experiences my way. So since I got to Alaska, I went to an air show at the Air Force Base. I went to a state fair. I was terrified to be traveling alone in Alaska in a place where people don't mask and everybody carries guns and there's Trump flags everywhere and there's no cell service and GPS only works sometimes. And I wanted to do Dalton Highway and go to the Arctic Circle, but it was raining and I was terrified that I was going to get stuck out there with a flat tire and not be able to come back in a strange car with a dog. And I did it anyway, and it was beautiful. I am officially an Arctic explorer, and it was fantastic. I came back and hung out at lakes and rivers, taught myself how to paddleboard. I did my first ever yoga class with reindeer. I went to Santa's workshop and did reindeer school with his team of reindeer. And then I went inside and talked to Santa, and he filmed a video singing me happy birthday and telling me that he wished he could ditch Mrs. Claus and the elves and live like I am, and that it's something to celebrate to have this kind of freedom. And how could Santa be wrong? I thought it would be weird to not have anybody to celebrate my birthday with. I have a life full of people who have always made me feel so special, and it didn't feel weird at all. It felt amazing to go to an ice hotel and sit at an ice bar and drink an appletini, which I would never order anywhere else, out of an ice glass and hang out, and then go warm up in a hot spring and chat with amazing people who are also having a fantastic journey and exploring everything that Alaska has to offer. And we're all pushing ourselves outside of our comfort zones and trying new things. And this community that I'm building is so special, and I couldn't have asked for anything better than what Rob and Jess have given me here, and this is just the first part of this journey. The homeowners in Anchorage have been so kind and supportive too. They've already agreed to pick me up the next day and they are letting me borrow all of their camping gear, and they have sent me suggestions and help so that I can take this little trip before I help them. And I'm no longer going to Chicago from Alaska. Now I'm going to San Diego and picking up our family dog. And then I'm heading to the Midwest and then the Northeast for the fall. And the rest of the year is practically planned. It's not fully ironed out, but I have a vague idea of where I'm going, what I want to do, how I'm going to get there. And I'm open to changes, and I'm flexible, and I'm happy and healthy and well. So if this is 36, I couldn't possibly complain. I'm pretty sure I'm living it right, and I am really happy about it. So that's this leg of Alaska and the madness that is my life. But I am about to take a train all the way through Alaska, pick up my van. I've named it Van Go, and we are gonna go everywhere we possibly can for my days off, and I'm gonna take you with me if you want to follow along. It is going to be a wild ride, I'm sure. Every part of this journey has been, but I just wanted to say thank you again for coming along with me on it. I know that I'm not alone, and even though I made my birthday wish on a dandelion instead of a cake candle yesterday, it was kind of hard to think of more to wish for than this. This is paradise. I am living the dream, and I am exploring and adventuring, and I wake up excited to get out of bed every day and tackle each thing that's thrown my way. I can't wait for what comes next, but I'm really living in the moment and enjoying it. I'm giving myself grace when things don't go exactly according to plan. I just pick myself up, dust myself off, and keep going. And I don't think that you could ask for anything more than that, but I did make a couple of wishes, and I hope that that means that this gets to continue and that I get to keep taking you with me, and so far so good. Thank you.